Good? Good? Great. Hey, everyone. Thanks so much for coming. Welcome to AI for Marketers. We're the AI user group. I see lots of familiar faces, but also some new ones. So welcome, everybody. I'm Sinead, and welcome as well to our LinkedIn Live audience. Today, we will be having a great lineup. So we will be hearing from Smartly about scaling creative workflows and optimizing media budgets with AI. Then we'll be hearing from Higgsfield AI about how their video model enables content marketing at scale. And next, then we'll hear from all of our speakers in a roundtable discussion on content creation and media buying. As usual, we will have our community open mic segment where you'll be able to come up here, make an announcement, talk about opportunities, and then we will wrap up the evening with some networking and some pizza, and you can all get to know each other really well. Just to mention, doors do close at 10 minutes to 9, so don't make me ask you to go. Please make your merry way, and we'd love to see you back again. Great. We are always looking for speakers. So if you or somebody you know would like to speak at AI for Marketers here, we're all about using AI in our professional day-to-day. What are the best practices? How are we using AI in our workflow? What are the relevant tools? We love to hear from founders, but equally we love to hear from community members. So if you're using AI in an interesting way and you'd like to share about it, please email me. You can reach me at Sinead@aiusergroup.com. Our next event will be August 7th, and our next opening, actually, for marketers will be on September 4th. So anybody engaged in marketing activities, doesn't matter what kind, we'd love to hear about it. Book a call with me, and we can chat. Great. I was going to say, we will get set up now with our speakers. So from Smartly.io, we have scaling creative workflows and optimizing media budgets with AI.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Apoorva, and I'm here with Michelle, my former co-founder and product lead at Smartly. Before I get started, though, I'd love to get a sense of who's in the room. So who is a marketer? If you can raise your hands. Okay, so maybe a little less than a quarter. How about developers? Okay, even fewer than that. Just shout out. What are the other folks doing? Founders. Okay, great. All right. What area are you founding?
AI platform for professionals. It'll be out in about 2 months.
Okay.
That's why I want to learn how to do this better.
Okay, great. So we have founders in the audience too. Okay, great. Well, hopefully, this will be interesting. We'll have time at the end for questions as well. So yeah, definitely hold your questions. So AI is a term that I think everyone has already heard of. It's been around for decades, but it's really gained popularity in the last couple of years. Especially in the last year, we've kind of seen AI this and AI that, and there's been a lot of developments. And that's kind of led a lot of businesses to ask, what can AI actually do for me? And AI can do a lot of different things. And there's been so many improvements. Even if you look at the beginning of last year, AI had a lot of difficulty generating hands with 5 fingers. But now, it can generate videos. We'll hear from another company that's speaking today about their foundational model for videos. You can have a pretty realistic and real-time conversation with it. So there's a lot that's improved. But with that, there's actually still a lot that needs to be done to actually make it useful and enterprise ready. And these are just some of the main challenges, right? One is actually finding the use cases where it even makes sense to use AI. It's not like a magic bullet that will just solve all your problems. And when AI is used incorrectly, it could lead to low quality. It could lead to biases getting propagated, undesired biases getting propagated. So finding the right use cases is really important. The second one is knowing what tools and models to actually use. So it seems like every week there's a new tool or a new version of a foundational model coming out, right? And that means it's really difficult to know what to actually use. And so that's why experimenting and testing is really important, or else you might be using a model that was maybe 9 months old, and that's a world of difference in this space. The third one is making it work for the long tail. So when Michelle and I were starting Viral Space, a company that we started around 5 years ago, we found this problem to be true then, and it's definitely true now with generative AI. Back then, we were doing something that is a seemingly simple problem, object detection, knowing what's in an image. But the amount of problems that had was ridiculous. Like, I remember one time we were working with a fashion brand and we were using like a state-of-the-art object detection model, but it detected like the blush palette as a keyboard. So there's like so many instances where the long tail, it just doesn't work. So that means you need to build in guardrails, even have sometimes manual review. And then the last one is following brand guidelines. So generative AI is great at being free-form and being imaginative. Like, if you want it to generate a chair that looks like an avocado, like, it does such an amazing job with that. But if you want it to, like, you know, abide by a certain word count, it doesn't work all the time, which is ridiculous. But when it comes to brand guidelines, like, especially for a brand, like, that's so important that that's actually followed. And so that's where like Michelle and I come in at Smartly. So we lead a team called the AI Lab, where these are the main problems that we solve. We look at various different AI solutions, various different use cases, and see how we can actually make it work properly. And so here's a little bit about Smartly. So Smartly is an AI-powered advertising platform that helps marketers run ads on TikTok, Snap, Meta, and more. We've been around for around 10 years, and you know, we specialize in helping marketers with really complicated campaign setups. We built this thing called predictive budget allocation that basically helps you optimize your budgets, and this precedes Meta's own campaign budget optimization. So, you know, we've been around for a while, and we have really great partnerships with these folks. And we're also not a point player, so we aim to own the entire workflow when it comes to like reporting, scaling creative templates, you know, optimizing budgets, as well as creating assets. And sometimes our CEO likes to describe us as being the biggest small company that you've never heard of, and we have some pretty significant numbers. One is, you know, $5 billion of ad spend goes through Smartly every year. We generate 300 billion creatives annually, and a more recent stat is from PwC that validated that if you spend an hour on using like a native tool from a channel, it actually only takes you 18 minutes to do the same thing in Smartly. So you're actually saving 42 minutes per hour that you end up using Smartly. Okay, so now focusing a little bit more. So as I mentioned, Michelle and I lead the AI lab. Specifically, we lead the creative side of the lab. So we help marketers make the most out of their ad creative. So that means we help them generate as well as scale images, videos, and text that they use in their ads. There's another team that does media AI, that does more around budget optimization. So I'll be talking about that, and then I'll pass it over to Michelle to talk about what we work on the creative side. Okay, so Media AI is part of our Smartly Media Suite. So in the Media Suite, there's a couple of things. One is the ability to create, launch, and edit campaigns across channels. The other one is using predictive algorithms to optimize budget. And then the third one is driving reach and frequency across audiences. So the Media AI team, again, like works on an algorithm called predictive budget allocation, and it lets you dynamically allocate budget between your ads and campaigns. And we've been doing this for a long time. And more recently, we've launched cross-channel PBA, which essentially lets you do this, but across channels. So instead of having to go to every single native tool and optimizing your budgets there, you can do it all in Smartly with like a single click. So this saves time, it's less error prone, and you're able to keep your budgets very, very fluid. And we've been testing this on a couple of different verticals, and the results have been pretty positive so far. Right now, clients are continuing to test and scale it, as well as use it BAU. One anecdote that I thought was interesting was there was this one time when Pinterest decreased their CPM by 3x, and we saw the cross-channel PBA allocate a lot more budget to Pinterest to increase the overall video views. So that's something that like shows that it can kind of adapt with whatever channels might be doing or whatever, you know, global market trends may be doing. And we have a couple of case studies too. So one is Group M. So Group M was time and resource constrained when it came to their marketing team, and they wanted to scale to new channels, and so they were able to do this using cross-channel PBA with basically a single click, and it ended up giving them double-digit performance increase. And another one is Didi. So Didi is an interesting company. They're multi-product and multi-market. So that means that anytime they want to launch a new product, it ends up being very, very complicated and very time-consuming to optimize. So with cross-channel PBA, they were able to let the algorithm kind of do the work and scale to new platforms, and it ended up resulting in a 6% decrease in cost per install. And then the last thing on this section is some new things that the team is working on. So one is performance forecasting, as well as showing the impact of recommendations that they provide. So this not only increases the confidence that you have about like how well a recommendation would perform, but then it also shows you the impact of using a tool like Smartly to even optimize your budgets. Cool. So with that, I'll hand it over to Michelle to talk about the creative side of things.
Great. So the way we play in creative is very similar to the way we play in media. We care a lot about scale across platforms. We care a lot about bringing everything into one end-to-end workflow, starting with insights and briefing and all the way to your first draft, scaling your ads, and post-launch optimization. And we care about helping you localize and personalize across audiences. Again, this goes end-to-end across the workflow, but the hero feature is visualized here on the slide. It's templates that connect to feeds and catalogs. So when you design a template, you can set your layers. So here's your product image, here's your circle animation, your product name, and maybe an optional discount. You can plug that into a feed that basically looks like a spreadsheet, where one row is one ad. And when you link those two things together, you can make thousands of variants in just a few clicks. So we've been playing in the the non-AI creative scale game for over 5 years now, and I'll show you today how that gets superpowered with AI. So here's how we play. Our goal is to add AI truly at every single step. So in the concepting stage, we provide creative and campaign insights. This is very much based on the work that Apoorva and I did at our startup Viral Space, which was acquired by Smartly back in 2021. When you get to the drafting phase, we help customers generate or search for assets. Oftentimes, customers actually have tons of assets, and the problem is more just finding the right one. So AI has been really good at going from Word to matching assets and helping with that. And of course, generating text or scripts or whatever else you might need for those raw elements. We then help customers put it together into their templates, so filling existing template designs or maybe even generating new designs in the future. Then scaling. So again, we already have been playing in the scale game for a while with feeds, so we apply generation across that feed, whether that's enhancing images with removing or generating backgrounds, cropping and resizing to different formats, generating text, producing new variants, and so on. And then post-launch, of course, we come back to optimize the ad. So on the media side, we have things like predictive budget allocation, which we just talked about, but we can also automatically detect ads that are fatiguing and rotate in and out different variants, provide recommendations of what to do to improve the ad, and in the future, we hope to get all the way back to closing the loop with automated iteration. So I'll take you through a few case studies that show how we do this. Starting with a brand you might have heard of called Foot Locker. So this is a global brand. We work a lot with both their Europe and US teams, and they sell shoes. Shoes across brands like Nike, Adidas, Reebok, and so on, with thousands of product SKUs. They already have been using templates for a while, so here is a super basic template with just the product image and with the logo, and we thought we could do better by giving them some insights and acting on those insights with AI. So an insight that we found for them is that backdrops make a big difference. So we saw that the CPM is much lower for studio backgrounds and nature backgrounds than other styles of backgrounds, and that moreover, styled backgrounds do better than just the plain white background that they've been using in their catalog. And a while ago, if you wanted to do photo shoots like this, you might be able to do it on a handful of products, but you're not going to repeat it across your thousands or 10,000s of products that Foot Locker has in their catalog. But AI changed this. So I'll show you how this works. We always start with single assets, and then we bring it at scale. So just to put it in context, here is what a Smartly template looks like. You have your image layer, your text layer, your price, and whatever else. And as I flip through, you can see that the product name, the image, and the price are dynamically updating without me doing any work. So that's just 10 variants. We could do the same for thousands, 10,000, etc. And that is plugging into quite literally a spreadsheet-based feed. They're not always in this format, but you can see that there's things like the image link, the title, and the price that are getting pulled in. So if we want to enhance the background, we start by first advising customers to always play around in what we call our AI playground. So here you can test any of our AI assists on single assets, get to the look you want, and then press a couple buttons to take it to scale. So I've sort of preloaded a shoe in Smartly colors for Nike with the prompt shoe on a rock in nature. But what I want to show is that just basic background generation is only the first step, and there's a lot to do to make this work for the long tail, like Apoorva mentioned. To help with this, we have features like style mimicking. So maybe a brand wants to actually mimic something that they've done in the past. So maybe they have a particular style of nature they really like they want, these nice blue water appearances. So I'll come back and show how that looks in a moment. There's also composition control, where you can actually set elements like objects, shapes, hands even, and generate within the bounds of that. So maybe if I wanted to have the rock be a particular shape, or I wanted to control the composition more, I can do that as well. So I'll show it in a moment once this generation completes. Great, here we go. We can see that this looks a little more like that style mimicking image I gave with the water in the background. And finally, composition control. Let's see if we've got a nice, platform somewhere. Or maybe I'll actually use that same image. And I can adjust my foreground, or at least I should be able to. Put the shoe here, and then apply, and we'll see in a second how that generation looks. Okay. While that's loading, I'll show how this looks on a feed. So again, remember we started with this feed, one row is one ad. If I want to take this to scale, all I need to do is select the feed that's already preloaded. And there's a lot of feeds in the demo account, so it always takes a few seconds to load them. Let's see, Footlooker. Then I just choose what column I want to generate on. I'll pick my image link here. I'll maybe use that exact same prompt that I liked over in the demo. And then choose that it's scene generation, and then we're ready to go to review and generate. If I wanted any more specific filters or rules, so for example, for shoes of some color, generate that matching color or a contrasting color background. That's totally possible. You can also apply the same style mimicking, composition control, and all types of other things like reframing the aspect ratio with the advanced settings here. But let's just show this. Okay, and again, while that's loading, I'll just pop back and show you guys how this looks. So looks pretty nice, I think. You've got the composition that you exactly asked for every single time, with still a little bit of variation due to the nature of generative AI. Okay, so now this is loading. I did basically this exact same generation earlier, so I will just show that. You can see that it applied the prompt that I gave it across my 10 shoes pretty quickly, and you can repeat this across thousands, 10,000, 50,000 shoes. Then, if I like the look, I can go ahead and push that to my source. So I'm going to give this name like AI image link nature 2. Push to source, and now my automation feed is updated with that new column. Okay, it might take a second, but yeah, here we go, image link nature 2. And then all I have to do to remap that back into my template is select the layer, change out the name of the column I'm pulling from, and now here we have the newly generated backgrounds. So just a few clicks to go from one to many, directly linked onto the creative template. And you can imagine repeating this for the text as well, which I'll show in another case study in a second. Okay, so basically did exactly that for Foot Locker. And we ran an A/B test comparing that original template with just that plain white background versus their generated backgrounds in a couple different styles. I think we did a blue studio background and we did a nature background that looked a lot like what I just showed. And when we compared the results, we saw a beautiful 32% uplift in click-through rate and a 28% lower CPA. So I think what we're seeing is it's not only beautifying the product, but it is driving performance. I think I want to emphasize that a lot of you guys have probably seen players that do background generation. This was shocking and new a year ago, but nowadays, Meta has this in their playground. Google has this. A lot of the other players have at least some playground version that looks a lot like maybe the first section of the demo that I showed. But this presentation is all about the effort to make it enterprise ready. So let me talk through some of the things that were needed to get that good result for Foot Locker. First, the ability to generate directly on a product catalog, pulling and pushing. That has been a big unlock for our customers, so they don't have to download the feed, re-upload it, go through the team that manages the feed, and do that update. We can also even do recurring generation if you want an always-on generation column. Right now we can generate on up to 50,000 products at once. We've had customers asking for millions, so we're pushing up to that over time. We have governance, so a cleanup interface and a managed cleanup service that can come in. So, especially if you're going at scale, you as the user are probably not going to want to review every single output on your own. So we can actually bring in a team to do that. And we have multiple model options for both background removal and scene generation. We have style mimicking and composition control, which I demoed, and of course connection to image templates for further editing and scaling. So we've actually really worked with Foot Locker to develop all of this. From the first generation to now, we've worked with them to do things like style mimicking, where we copied a look that they did with their own photographer across their whole catalog. Okay. Very similar story for text. Here we worked with a brand called TUI. They're a big travel brand that does flights out in Europe. For them, they wanted to take their list of destinations they fly to and generate 3 reasons to go to the destination in a very specific format. So the blank blank in Dutch and in French. And you can see how it shows up here. So it's saying something like, for Murcia, I really like the tapas and so much more. So we generated 3 reasons to go. Again, more examples might be the vibrant nightlife, the rich historical heritage, the breathtaking coastal views. When we compared the tailored reasons to go to a more generic one, we saw a 10% CPA improvement. So again, what makes this enterprise first? What was all the work we had to do to go from what you might just be able to get out of ChatGPT to something that really works for our customers at scale? First, again, it's directly on top of the automation feeds, pull and push, recurring generation with a force output schema. There's cleanup, there's a text guardrail, so we actually have AI review itself to make sure that it's following the prompts. And even things that seem very simple, like a word count, can take a lot of work. So we've workshopped that guardrail a lot. We have multiple model options, and we have brand voice controls where the best performing copy is sent to the surface, and users can prompt their brand voice on top of that. And there's a lot more case studies where that came from. We have seen, on average, 27% uplift in performance, and numbers as big as like 200% ROAS improvement in one of our best case studies. Where we're going from here is to video. So we've been focusing a lot on image and text and integrating that into the workflow, especially at scale. But we know the industry is moving towards short form, so we are moving with it. And short form video is tough because it's very expensive to make video, and once you make it, it fatigues quickly. So we see our customers really struggling to keep up with the volume needed to keep performance high. So what we have tried to do is customers throw us videos, and we basically give them back a short form video or 15 with pretty good consistency across different types of videos. One example is with UGC talking videos. We break down the video into clips based on the natural audio transitions. We ask AI to generate new script arrangements, and it'll basically just cut up and rearrange those same clips and then output as many variants as possible. With a long form to short form, so sometimes there will be videos where there isn't existing talking audio to work with. So we have AI understand what's going on in the visuals and then generate new text overlays that go on top. So you can see it went from long YouTube video with beautiful visuals to a short form video that actually has a storyline. I'll show a quick demo of how this looks. So here we've already broken the scenes apart. If I go to Rescript and ask for make new variants, then we can come back and see this in a second. In the meantime, I've preloaded a couple. Maybe I won't play them for today, but I can review and I can output them into a template. So I can prompt until I get a few scripts I like, review, output into template, and then keep working with it from there. Okay. Maybe let's give this a second. Okay, I'll come back to that in a second, but want to bring this back again to use case versus effort to make it enterprise ready. So with video ad assembly, the first sample that we did, that Smile Direct Club video with talking audio, we thought we had this in the bag, so easy. But what we found is there are so many different kinds of video styles. So there's videos that have talking audio and videos without talking audio. So there's videos of different lengths. There's raw clips. There's clips of different aspect ratios that we have to mash together and crop intelligently, or maybe they'll have a text overlay already and that we need to make sure that the script matches to it. So there's been a lot of work to make sure this works consistently across different video styles for scene splitting, for text overlays to guide the script, and so much more. We have different models for video analysis and rescripting and have played a lot to find the best ones that balance cost and quality. Of course, we've integrated this into Video Editor for further editing and scaling, and we have UX that makes it easy to view and edit a high volume of script suggestions. What I just showed is definitely not final. Our goal is to instead give customers like 15 different scripts to review at once, skim through, and choose the best ones to go forward with. So let me just see and come back to this. Yeah, okay, so here's my scripts, review, and again, output into template. So I'll pass it back to Apoorva to close, but I guess just want to emphasize, I think with AI, it's a lot to go from the very first attempt to actually making it work for you. And the work that we do here at Smartly is to really get down to that long tail, give you style mimicking, give you the ability to keep your brand voice, give you guardrails and manage cleanup services, and a lot of assistance to make sure that the cleanup goes well, and of course, integration into that end-to-end workflow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think where we see the magic is kind of using all of the tools, the data, and the workflows that Smartly offers to automate larger workflows. So here's just one example, right? You have an ad that's fatiguing. You look at the creative insights that can tell how the ad should be improved, and then you use the tools that Michelle just walked us through to actually make those improvements, and then you observe how it actually performed. So we're really excited about how we can make bigger workflow transformations with AI. And yeah, with that, we'll just open it up for questions in the less than a minute we have left.
We'll go for it. I was going to say, if anybody has questions, I will pass you this mic. Please stand up so our LinkedIn Live can hear you as well. Put your hand up. Any questions? Don't be shy. Yeah, please.
So my question
Stand up.
my question is whether or not this is only for basically physical products. Is that how it works? Or can it be used for, say, I want to leverage my platform, I want to get this platform to market, I want to get, it's a B2C, I want to get users that way. Is that going to help me that way as well? Because all I saw was products. Maybe it's that kind of.
Yeah, it's a great point. So what I demoed with background generation, that's probably only going to be relevant if you are an e-com brand that has like product-based ads. We have plenty of brands that are not a fit for that. So TUI is a travel brand, for example. We're not going to generate fake destinations that they fly to. Instead, we've been focusing with them on things like text generation, cropping and resizing, video ad assembly, template fill, and things like that. Yeah, so it's a matter of, for your creative, there's a bit of work to figure out what the right use cases are for you. I would say, of everything I just showed, everything but background generation would probably make sense for you.
Okay, awesome. Any other questions? Great.
Hi, my name is Dhruv. My question is regarding advertisement. I noticed that you are showing your advertisement in social media like Facebook or TikTok, that kind of platform. So my first question is how can you guys collect this information? And second question is, in this demo I noticed that most of the shoes are sports shoes. So I think it's not useful for older age people?
Yeah, so I'll maybe answer the sports shoes one, and maybe you can talk to data. But yeah, so that demo was a little bit arbitrary. It's because the brand I was talking about was Foot Locker. But we also work with, J.C. Penney, for example, and they have a huge range of shoes, and also beyond shoes, they have accessories, they have home goods, dresses, things like that. So it's different prompts for different use cases, and we work with each of our customers to figure out the right looks for them.
Okay, but it depends upon, I think every customer has their different choice. Like when we focus upon youngsters, so youngsters like sports shoes and they like designing shoes, something like that. While older people like comfortable and running this kind of shoes. And also I noticed that in your background things, so you said your AI is generate a background, but and also I noticed that it's editable. For example, if we want to edit that thing, we can do that. So shall you please tell me how golden ratio is using in this thing?
Okay, so you talked about personalization for sure. That is a huge part of how the feed structure works. So the reason that customers make different rows, it might be for just iterating, having more variants, but a lot of times they are personalizing text or maybe even imagery to a specific audience. I didn't show that. I was very much focused on the generative AI portion of the demo, but the feed structure, yeah, that's exactly what it's meant for. I think work we could do to further improve this is make the prompts better connect to the personalization. Right now, the step between insight and choosing the prompt was done by us consulting with the customer. But the two, I think, will definitely loop together in the future. That's what we mean by this closing slide. Yeah, and then if you want to talk about, I think you asked about where data is coming from?
Yeah, like all of the assets and the data that we're using are like first-party data from the client itself, because we don't want to be generating a Foot Locker shoe because there's going to be details that are not there. And anyways, they already have product images, right? What they really need help with is trying to highlight that product and make it visually beautiful and engaging.
Awesome, great guys. Any other questions in the room? Yeah, time for one more. Thank you.
Yeah, on that last slide, it sounds like that's more directional, but it's the beginning of a agentic workflow. And I guess, how far along are you? Have you selected an agent framework? Kind of what is your expectation for, how far you can get for end-to-end automation?
Yeah, great question. So we're still very much in the exploratory phase of anything agents related. We've done some mini POCs and experiments, but what we realized is that even before we can get into agentic workflows, actually building the tools like the ones that Michelle demoed and as well as PBA is important, right? Because those are the building blocks and the tools that agents would use to actually string together. So that's been our focus right now. For the POCs, what we've kind of just been playing around with is like AutoGen from Microsoft, but again, like we haven't actually done any deep dives onto agentic workflows just yet, but we do think that there's a lot that could be done, right? Like imagine a Smartly where you just ask it to do something and it knows what to do, or it leads you into saying like, oh, you should be doing X, Y, Z. So that's kind of how we think a lot of time can be saved for marketers, because rather than you clicking and doing everything Michelle was doing, imagine like that being done automatically because it already knows the steps of the workflow.
Yeah, I think the stage we're at right now is stringing together the tools into structured workflows that we choose. So it's not necessarily an agent choosing to connect this step to this step, but video ad assembly that I showed is a great example of that. It's choosing, or like we're choosing that, hey, the step is first analyze the video and break it into scenes. User approves the scenes, user writes the brief, they see a bunch of clips, and then it turns into a video template. We're doing something very similar on the image side in an experimental way. So going from raw assets in a brief to a first draft, like couple of template designs, as well as scaling a feed. So rather than you having to press each different AI assist separately to make new background, make new text, make another version of new text, all of those can happen together to actually produce like the full cohesive variant. So kind of like tools to workflows, and then fully agentic stuff maybe in the future.
Awesome. Any more? Did you have one here? Question here? No, you're good. Anybody else? We'll close up. Okay, super. Thanks, ladies. Let's give our speakers a round of applause, guys. Next up, we will have Yuliya, and she's going to be talking about how Higgsfield's AI video model enables content marketing at scale. So let's just get her set up.
Hey, guys, test. Yeah, thank you so much, girls. It was amazing, and I'm still thinking about 300 billion images created, and I do think that it's a number that is uncomparable to anything else. So, my name is Yuliya. I work at Higgsfield AI. So I've been a marketer for more than 10 years now. I started at Coca-Cola, and then I worked in a company called Better Me. It's a fitness app, and I got it to its first $1 million monthly. And my last place of work was actually Replica. I don't know if you know it. It's Replica AI, the app. So we were the pioneers of AI before there was any AI, and that was cool. And now I work here, and I'm not bragging. I'm just telling that I'm a marketer, and my presentation will mostly be for the marketers. So for all the other guys, I know that they're at the back of the room now. So for all the other guys, there will be pretty pictures. And not even pictures, there will be pretty videos because we are a video platform. And I hope you will like it. So I will tell you the truth. This presentation was prepared by my colleague, who is a way better salesman than I am. And I will try to keep it simple and short and also to the point. So as marketers, we know that videos work better than still creatives. And we have the need to create as many videos as possible to test and to iterate on. And what we see is that it's very expensive. We see that sometimes it takes thousands of dollars to create one video, and we don't want to create just one video, we want to create millions of videos, 300 billion, as some people here do. And how can we afford that? How can we do that? You won't believe it, but actually Higgsfield may have come up with a solution. How do you give more time for your designers to live their lives while videos being created and ads being created at a scale? So what are we? We are a AI video platform. Basically, we are a video model. If you need to compare us to someone, you can compare us to Sora, which hasn't come out yet, but you can also not compare us to anyone else. What is our unique feature is that we can actually create personalized videos. And instead of just using random videos, like this, almost the same as using stock videos, you create videos exactly for your product, and you can put your product in it, which is cool. Many people say that they're scared of AI. And to be honest, after working for 4 years in AI sphere, I can say I'm scared of it too, but not for the reason that other people are scared of it. I know something else. But a lot of people are talking about how AI is going to take their jobs, that it's not going to be there. I actually think that the third part of the group, like marketers, founders, and people that are scared that AI will take their jobs, please don't be. It's not going to happen, especially if you're in any creative field. What we do think is that even though AI will take some of the jobs, it's about to take the bad parts of it. So I don't know if you've ever had like an actual video shot, like I was very young when I did that, but literally I was so excited. Oh my God, I'm going to shoot an ad. And it was so time consuming. It was so dreadful. Now I wouldn't ever do that again. And also it was very expensive for my company. I don't know about you if you've ever worked with UGC content, for example. Now with AI, it is actually possible to create videos that cost the same as UGC content, but for much less money, much faster, much more reliably, and basically you will see what you want to see and not what some other person produces for you. And did I say that it was much faster? Probably yes. So basically what is left for us marketers will be to think of ideas, think of creativity, and judge what the AI gives us. And obviously it all comes to one thing, like that girl on the internet said, that I don't want AI to do creative stuff for me. I want to do my laundry and clean my stuff, not take something that I love from me. And this is where we want to help. This is what we want to do. We actually want to give the opportunity to do what you love, to come up with ideas and leave the execution to someone else, like AI. So our model is called Nova One, and it can create all kinds of videos, everything that you can think of. And actually, you stole my joke about avocado chair, which I will never, I thought I was so original for it, but apparently it's in everyone's mind. We don't need to make avocado chairs, but sometimes, as marketers, we need something specific to be there. And it is very important that the AI understands you and gives you what you want. And this is the difference between other models and our models. We can actually put what you need there. First of all, we can create personalized content. We put your product there, we clean it up, and basically any situation, your product is there 100% as your product, not as some other very artifacty product. Second of all, you can give us all the assets that you have. We will teach you model on it. Nobody will have access to it but you and your team, and nobody else will have what we have learned from your assets. And it will be 100% secure and private, and the model will be fine-tuned to your needs. Also, there will, obviously, it goes without saying, all the localization, all the swapping of characters, swapping of settings, we all expect this from AI, and this will be happening. And obviously the time it will take to create the creatives will be very fast. I will show you some examples. This is for Bose headbands. So basically you put in the prompt, you put in the what you want to see, who you want to see, and how it will look. And actually, you can change it if you want to. As long as you have your product, it will be featured and it will be generated. This is actually the flow in our app. We have a consumer app as well, where you can create your text-to-video prompts and also see this, obviously without your product in it. But literally anything can be imagined and anything can be created. And what we are proud of is that our model is one of the best on the market, no matter how many new models come up, we are still very, at least on par with them. So what can be the use cases? I know that there are not only marketers here. You know that there is this new emerging use case of faceless videos, which helps a lot of creators actually make a lot of money, where you don't have to show your video or show your face, and you can just do content stories, true crime stories, which I love, and basically news. And you can create all that just using AI and have your money flowing to you. And if there are any rappers here, any I don't know, singers, also like music videos, this is something that can be easily done with AI instead of spending a lot of money on production costs. I also personally love the use case of children's stories, and I will die on this hill, but I think that creating children's stories with AI is also a very good use case that any of us can profit from when we do it and post it on YouTube, for example. So this is also a slide that I'm very proud of. We have had collaborations with some of the famous people that did give us their consent to actually use their pictures. And what is good about our model, you can actually have consistency. If you have like a spokesperson for your brand and you cannot reach it, or it went to she went to another country or gained weight and cannot be filmed anymore, you can use AI to replace her or him. And also, like, imagine you want to create a movie. Obviously, it won't be Hollywood style yet. Obviously, this is just the beginning of AI video creations. But already at this point, we can have the color scheme, and we can have the faces, and we can have the stylization of the video all being very consistent and nice. What else? So this is how it works actually to work with us. You give us the assets if you need it. We create a model for your brand. We customize it. We do all the videos for you, and basically we make sure, like, creating AI videos takes a lot of skill as well. You wouldn't believe what kind of people we have in our team, to the prompt engineers that can create any videos. Like, if I were to create this video, I would fail miserably, whereas they can actually make it happen. And obviously this is a new type of job. This is for the crowd that is not marketers, not founders. I still think that you are looking for AI jobs. Basically, prompt engineering is very hard. We do not expect everyone to be good at it in the next year. So why we are offering the guided text to video prompts and creating of your videos, because it will help create much better results. And also basically what I can say as a marketer as well, and I've launched a lot of campaigns in the last years. As soon as we started using actually AI-generated videos, we see that people react to them much better than to usual videos that you would have. And it's not because the AI-generated videos in general are so good, or that I'm promoting the company. It's literally that everybody is a little bit more interested in it than in other stuff, because it's something new, because it catches your eye by having all the artifacts actually. And this is something that captivates people for now. And basically I would recommend using it before it becomes cool, because you can be literally late to the party. So with us, video becomes a viable option for any project. Instant video storyboards and quick ideation, very private, very secure, and basically limitless remakes of it. And what else I can say? I can say that to try it out, we recently launched the Diffuse app. It's called Diffuse. And there you can try text to prompt and see how it looks for you, how you can use it in your ads right now without any just for creation of AI videos. You will see the quality, you will see the things you can do with it, because it's already at a very good scale, and it is basically what we are all as marketers are looking for, let's be honest, in the future, but the future is here now, today. So yeah, this was me. And if you want to connect with me, you obviously can on LinkedIn and stuff. And I hope that you were at least impressed with our videos, but mostly that you were impressed with Higgsfield in general. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Yuliya. I was going to say, I'm going to open it up for questions, but I have one first, if that's okay. I'd love to hear about the 2 celebrity partnerships. How did that come about? Like, tell us the story.
I'm not sure I'm allowed to, actually. So basically, some of the celebrities are very interested in this product already, and we have, this may or may not be these celebrities, obviously, but in general, a lot of people want to create their AI avatar that will be doing all the shootings for them instead of them, and they can just live their best life.
Okay, awesome. And have they made any particular projects or?
Well, not yet,
there's
and
nothing
it's
we can-
still in the works.
In the works.
Mhm.
Okay, super.
Mhm.
I was going to say, I'll open it up to everybody else, guys. Great.
Thank you for the presentation. It's absolutely amazing product. I have a question around go-to-market. So I'm not a marketer myself, but apart from marketing, do you see user groups like film production or like even personal use, consumer level use?
Definitely. And as a general manager of Diffuse app, I really hope that everything that you see will be integrated into consumer product very soon, and everybody can benefit from it. And we see a lot of use cases for generative AI, for video AI in the nearest future, and we think that the future will be personalized. So everything you can imagine, like every video you can imagine putting yourself into, this is what we are working on. Because we do think that bigger companies, they might be bigger, they might be smaller. Everybody wants to go to Hollywood, everybody wants to create these new Netflix movies, whereas we want to make it hyper personal, and we want everyone to star in their own movies, and this is what for me, as the leader of personal line of development in our company, this is very important for me as well, yes. And I do think that in the future, all content will be super personalized. I do like Paris Hilton, but you know who I like more? Myself. Yeah.
Awesome, great. If you could pass that along for me there.
I have a question also about the celebrity situation. Could you explain the capture process for that? Is it just regular pictures that they're using?
Literally pictures. Yes, you just give us the pictures and they create the model for them. Like it's called personal LoRa. So basically, what we will have is, for example, you give us 20 pictures, and you obviously heard about that, from picture generating apps, but it hasn't been created for videos yet, but we did create it, and it works really good. So yeah, you just feed it 20 pictures and this is what you get.
And then once you have that created, how malleable is that? Like, for example, Chris Pratt, would he be something that you could age or put into different hair color, or how?
Yeah, you can do everything to it. Yeah, sure. You can age him. You can change anything about him. You can change his clothes. You can make him a woman. I don't know, but literally anything that you can imagine, you can do. Obviously. When we are talking about real people, this is something that we won't do, but when we are talking about also interactivity, if you're watching a movie and you don't like the main character, this is the future that we're talking about, obviously. You're watching a movie, you don't like the main character because she reminds you of your ex, you change her for something else and it will become a future in the nearest time. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Great.
Well, I also have questions about the celebrity situation.
Oh my God, am I in trouble or something? Yeah.
So there are some apps out there that have been around for a while called either reface or re-app or something like that.
Reface,
So
yeah.
they make very similar, but there are a set amount of videos, and you put your picture, and then they'll create it for you, right?
What they do is the technology called face swap. So basically, you either give them a video and they put the picture of it on the video, and you cannot do anything in it without having the original video, and this is the thing. So basically, if I have the pre-recorded video of someone and I want to make it look like Megan Fox, I put the face of Megan Fox on it, and she does whatever. This is deep faking, this is okay. But if I want to take actual Megan Fox and tell her to sit down next to me and make it a video, and I don't have a big footage of that, that will be the use case for AI generation video. So basically, creating movements and actions that haven't existed yet. So you don't have to have the original video to put somebody's face on it, as they do in Reface and other apps. And this is why it is more interesting, I guess. Yeah. So basically, you would have to shoot the whole video of Paris going down the staircase here. Like, where was it? Sorry. So you see, you would have to film her doing the DJ thing. You would have to film her doing all this and put her video on it. And this is all created just by AI. All the body movements, all the, I don't know, hair movements. This is the difference.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome, great. Time for some more, great. Thank you. Make sure it's on there.
Oh, hey, I have a question about like the feedback you receive from your users so far, like in terms of what the video foundational model outperforms their expectation, and also like what they think the model could improve.
Obviously, people have a lot of expectation of AI, and video creation models are actually, well, to my liking, to my thinking, are not where people expect them to be. But at the same time, we do see that it is going very, very fast and in a very interesting direction. I'm trying to find the good pictures. I cannot. So basically, people like it. We see, like, we have a prompt builder in our app, and we see a lot of, like, we create, we collect the feedback, and a lot of the videos that are created are to people's liking. There are obviously a lot of artifacts there, and for some people it's not what they want, and this is why, like, when we're talking about business cases, obviously you still need, people cannot do prompt engineering, and sometimes they're like, give me anime girl or give me a car, and they don't even specify. So the model creates something that it was taught on, like how a car could look. Could it be a Lamborghini or could it be a Subaru? So it takes a lot of time to teach people how to actually prompt engineer, but when they do that right, the videos that they're creating are stunning. And for now, when it's still so new and so interesting, not a lot of people are complaining, but obviously when it goes further, everybody is going to be pissed when the short is the wrong color or something like that. Yeah. So basically, people have a lot of expectations, and you can never be expect for them to be happy all the way. This is my answer to the question. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Pass the mic back behind you. I think there's some questions there.
Hi, I'm John. Cultural trends are constantly changing, so I was wondering how you are ensuring that whatever's being fed into it is making sure that the ad itself stays as culturally relevant today, and that the style that it's depicting is actually really super current, knowing that this changes all the time. You don't end up with what are looking kind of like dated ads.
If we're talking about ads, as I said, this is not us taking work from marketers. So it's for you as a marketer to think of a style that will work for a longest amount of time. But if we're talking about the model itself, so basically it obviously learns and is constantly evolving. So like right as we speak, we have 10 engineers that are working in teaching the model new stuff. So if there are new styles that are being popular somewhere on publicly available data or something like that, if we see new trends, the model will teach itself and it will be relevant for as long as we keep teaching it. And regarding the ads, obviously, when your ad creative burns out, you create a new creative and you iterate and you test new stuff. This is how you stay relevant. This is, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Pavel. I'm a video editor, and my question is...
please don't kill me. Okay.
First of all, how do you cope with all these artifacts and hallucinations? Because this is the main issue in the terms of quality. Is client satisfied with this level, or it demands more and it requires more post-production for getting rid of this? And the second question is quality. The highest level can you provide, like a full HD or 4K maybe, or I don't know.
I will tell you, as a marketer and as a person that does pictures, I don't know the highest quality, but obviously it's very high, and they tell me that they can create very high quality. I tried to put 4K videos on my onboarding in the app, and it was a really good quality video. So I can say that it's big. This is all I can say. Yeah, I'm not very tech skilled, and or a salesperson as well for the thing. Yeah, and regarding the artifacts, obviously there are artifacts, and what we do to mitigate it is we are teaching our models every day to become better, and it does become better. With our clients that are our ad clients, obviously we clean it up. We clean some of it up like by hand, because there is no way to stop hallucinations for now. But this is what we are trying to do, like what we are trying to be, like, as Perplexity says that their models never hallucinate. So we want to be that, but with video AI. We don't have a lot of hallucinations. Basically, sometimes the videos break when there is a lot of movement, like obviously, but in the same time, we are pretty good in keeping it consistent, and like you may have seen it on the examples that I showed below. Above.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks. One more here. Great. Last one. Cool. You want to stand up?
Thank you so much for the presentation. So my question about the video storage. So hopefully you will reach millions of customers, millions of users. How do you handle the storage issue? And what is the typical duration of your videos?
Right now, like in our like in our consumer version, you can create shorter videos. It's about 10 seconds. Obviously, for business clients, we can create longer videos. Regarding the storage, all I can say is that today I was at a very serious business meeting, and the words GPUs were used, and I don't know, megabytes. So we have a lot of investment as well, and this is not the problem that we are thinking of anticipating anytime soon. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Yuliya. Great. Round of applause for Higgsfield, guys. All right, we're going to need a couple of minutes just to set up, because we want to get all our speakers back up here to do a little bit of a roundtable, have a bit of a discussion about content and media buying. So if you just bear with us a second. Ladies, all got your mics. I was going to say, there's a question on the live stream there. The app is called Diffuse, right? Diffuse, super. One. Cool. Ready? Great. Okay, guys, I'd love to kick off. I feel like you've done a little bit of introductions, but if you wanted to introduce yourselves, guys from Smartly, a little bit more about your backgrounds or things, feel free before we get started.
Sure, absolutely. So my name is Michelle Liu. I am currently the product lead of the Creative AI Lab at Smartly. I think you heard a little bit about, or a lot about what Smartly and the AI Lab do, but maybe I can talk about my background before that. So Apoorva and I were co-founders of a startup called Viral Space, and we built creative insights for ads. So very similar space, very similar target customer, and we were, I guess, using AI before it was cool to tag what goes on inside of Meta and TikTok ads and give customers recommendations of what works well for them, predict performance, give them recommendations, and a lot more. We were acquired by Smartly in 2021, so it's basically been a fun, 5.5-year long journey of building AI for ads for enterprise marketers.
Awesome, great.
Awesome. My name is Apoorva. I'm the Senior Engineering Manager of the AI Product Lab Creative, and I think Michelle gave a really good overview of Viral Space already.
And I'm Yuliya. I'm a marketer. Let's finish at that. Yeah.
Awesome. I won't press you on the backgrounds too much. I was going to say, talk to me about your relationship to AI in general. So in your personal, like I've heard about work, but how are you using it personally? Are there tools, are there apps, are there things you're testing out? I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, so I think I love to use AI personally as definitely a research tool, of course, as like generation tools. I love to always play around with whatever new models are coming out. I definitely want to test Higgsfield if at some point we can, just to get inspiration for what we can bring to our customers. But in my personal life, I think I tend to use like ChatGPT, Claude, things like that for a mix of things. One is I've been playing around with just little coding projects, little design projects, and I didn't study computer science, so I took a class, I've taken a handful of workshops, but I feel like I can actually make things now, so it's been amazing to have that as a resource. I've also been really interested in like AI Companion, so it's so interesting that you were at Replica. I actually tested that like years and years ago, but nowadays I've been playing with, there's startups that do this called Shapes and New Computer, and I'm curious to see what else will come out of those spaces.
Awesome, guys. What about the rest of you?
Yeah, I think for me, definitely use ChatGPT and Claude. I think I also use this tool called Bytes. What I like about it is that it kind of lets you do Q&A on like AI papers that you can find on Archive or on Hugging Face or on GitHub. And so that's been a really nice resource. You can ask it like, what's the difference between, this technique and this other technique that I've seen, because it's indexed all of these things. So that's been a nice kind of knowledge partner. And then the other one that's interesting is called Multion. It's like a seed stage startup now. They basically, it's an AI agent that works in the browser. So you can ask it to do things like I can be like, oh, can you order this salad that I ordered on Uber Eats last weekend again? And it'll like go to Uber Eats and like do all this stuff. I think there's like, I'm excited to see where they'll go with this. I think that entire space is really interesting.
What you said now amazes me. What? You can do that? And like working in AI, I'm not using it at all, and I'm proudly, like obviously ChatGPT, but like also for work stuff. And I'm very scared of integrating it into my life. I decided to be completely different from anyone else. And I do hope that one day we will reach the movie Her version, and obviously Replica is going there, and I hope it happens. But at the same time, I try to keep my life as AI-free as possible. And please don't cancel me for that. Please don't fire me as well. Yeah.
All levels of AI use are welcome at the AI user group. Great. I'd love to kind of get a little bit more into kind of trends and innovations in the social media and media buying space. So if you could kick us off about what you think some of those exciting trends are that you're seeing right now, and maybe just with a view to the landscape for the next 5 years, which I know is wild, how much things are going to change.
Can I start, because I want to say the most obvious thing, and so that you don't take it. I do like the UGC characters that are being created everywhere. So when Creatify came up, it literally changed the way we create creatives in my companies, and I do think that that is the future. I do hope that they will become more emotional and they will have more voices and everything. I do know a lot of people that are making startup in that sphere, so please don't do it. But in general, this is I think this is actually very useful for marketers, and I thank AI for that, and that's it. Yeah.
I think one thing that I see will improve is just guidelines and brand guidelines and more understanding of what legal compliance looks like. I think a lot of the clients that want to use AI but are maybe a little hesitant are hesitant because of that reason. So I think having policy and legal guidelines more clarified, that will go a long way. And another one is these companies or these, I guess they're these initiatives like the Content Authenticity Initiative that's trying to be more transparent when something is AI generated. I think bringing more transparency to that will be good for marketers, because authenticity is already a problem with social media, and having ads use AI and generate it, I think it'll only aggravate it if it's not done thoughtfully. So that's maybe one area that I'm watching.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Brand styles and guardrails are super interesting. I think we have been playing with basic AI reviewing itself. I saw OpenAI recently released, code debugger, so AI that reviews its own code that it generates. So it'll be interesting to see how that continues to evolve. I think another space very related to the demo I showed is consistent product generation. I think that's getting really close to there. Right now, we're only touching the background around because the marketers we work with are not willing to have even a tiny, seam slightly too long if we're trying to regenerate a clothing item, for example. But I've seen companies like EverArt do this really well, and I think that could be getting there soon. A lot of stuff around 3D as well. So, yeah, I think there could be a future where product photography is almost like AI first. So that'll be interesting.
Awesome. It's great to hear about EverArt. Are there any other tools or companies in the space that you're keeping an eye on?
I agree with Creatify. I think they're doing really cool stuff like captions. There's a ton of companies that are doing AI video. Even I think TikTok's native AI video tools are really solid. They also do the avatars. So
Great.
Yeah, a bunch in that space.
Awesome. And thinking about the kind of evolving role of social media managers, marketers, even agencies and digital marketers in general, how do you see their role evolving alongside AI and what that role will entail in the future? Any thoughts?
I don't think they will be replaced. I maybe it's wishful thinking that I am no, nobody will take our jobs and stuff, but I do think that agencies in general, if they don't actually integrate that, they will fall behind very, very hard. And for every agency out there, where is the camera? Integrate AI with Higgsfield as well. Sorry, guys.
No, that's great. I mean, I think also, I agree with what you're saying, right? Marketers that use AI will replace marketers that don't. I think that's a quote that's said a lot nowadays. But I feel what will end up happening is that there'll be really new forms of marketing, new medias that come up, really out there, metaverse marketing, there's gonna be crazy things that come up. And so the problems are gonna be a lot more interesting. So, a lot of the manual work will just save a lot of time using AI.
Yeah, I think definitely the floor gets raised. People who maybe didn't have creative skills before, couldn't make beautiful graphic designs or couldn't do their own photography, can now get to a serviceable basic level. But I think there's definitely still room and especially need for taste and strategy and that level of human thinking. So definitely everyone should learn the AI tools. It's great if you're a beginner and the floor gets raised, but if you're already near the top, then of course take your skills to the next level and make sure you continue to lean into the strategic aspect and the taste that you have in creative.
And I also wanted to add that even now, even with all the AIs in the world, there is still a very big lack of people that are professional. So if there is an agency that can do good UGC content for me, I would skip Creatify, HeyGen, and anyone else in a bit just to see those really professional people at work. So, and I do think that it will keep happening. So if you're good at what you do, please continue doing that, because we still need you for the next 2 to 3 years. Yeah.
And any tips on how you guys are, boosting your own toolkit as we go? Like, what is your own practice like around that?
So I can say that my design. I'm sorry if I can say that I literally invested a lot of time of my designers to learn on all the AI tools. So basically, we created our own I don't want a tool where they can go and just create everything. They don't use Mindjourney or Stable Diffusion. They just go to our own tool, and they become so good at it that now I am amazed. I'm they've become too powerful. We cannot have them anymore. Yeah, and basically to invest time into development of your people and into development of motion designers to become also prompt engineers. I think this is like the diffusion that we want to see.
Yeah, I think, so personally how I keep on top of things, it's a lot of Twitter. I feel like people love to post their product announcements there, and I'm happy to eat them up. And I don't know, I think communities like this as well, I think being in San Francisco, you cannot avoid AI, and I don't want to avoid AI, so this is a great place to be. I think a lot of even just like casual conversations I'll have day to day tend to be about like new releases and things like that. In terms of upskilling within a company, someone told me they recently had everyone on their team basically pick a pet area and then do a bit of a sprint to explore that, come back and present it to the team and train everyone else up on it. I think that's a really great way and something that others could model for getting sort of off the ground. I think there's a lot you can learn just by searching on Twitter, searching on Google for what new releases are, play around. I think there's a bit of skill with prompting, but something that, quick sprint I think could get people to a serviceable level pretty quickly.
Great. Yeah, no, we've had really good tips so far, but going further, if somebody here in marketing is kind of dipping their toes, they're wanting to integrate or implement some more AI solutions in terms of maybe content creation or maybe media buying, would you have any tips or even pitfalls to avoid to help folks out early on that journey?
I think one thing that really helps is just to be hands-on and try as much as you can. Like a lot of these tools have free demos, you can get free credits and all of that. So just trying things out is one thing. The other thing is try it out on easy examples, but then also try it out on the long tail. Because again, like we talked about, that's, you're gonna really see that for a lot of images, maybe it just doesn't work, and maybe it's too early to adopt, whatever tool that you're looking for. And then the last point was, and then the pitfall to avoid is just analysis paralysis. There's so many tools out there, so once you kind of test a good handful, just pick one and go with it, and then you can design your system such that you're not stuck into that tool. So as it improves or as other tools come in, you can kind of adapt and be flexible and use those, but just trying it out and then making a decision to go with something and then iterating after that is probably a good strategy.
Yeah, I would also say, maybe I'm a little biased because this is how we work with our customers, but sometimes finding a great partner that can help you identify the use cases, help you, stay on top of using the right model so you're not having to test every single week every new thing that comes out, and provide those guardrails can be really helpful. And even for us, we used to try to build all of our models in-house. Now we have partners, and I think that's been a huge unlock for us, so we can focus more on workflow and the things that we do uniquely different.
Great, and you guys shared some amazing case studies from Foot Locker and TUI and all of these great companies. Was there any other stories or big wins that companies have had using these tools that you'd like to share or talk about?
Maybe I can talk about one with video ad assembly. So that's a feature we've been playing with for a couple months now, a lot of very hands-on managed experiments. So my boss went to a summit with our customer Zalando over in Berlin and showed the feature to someone who's job in the next couple weeks was going to be to make like 100 short form video variants. And when she saw the feature, she said, I could almost cry right now. I mean, this is going to save me so much time. So I think it's good validation that if you choose the right use case and you do it really well, it can be a big unlock.
Literally saving lives out here. Yeah.
Exactly. Marketing saves lives, always.
Amazing. Okay, great. Apoorva, I don't want to ignore your kind of great technical expertise in this kind of area. So I was wondering if you could share any of the kind of technical challenges you faced in building Smartly and even from prior experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think there are so many, but I'll try to distill it. So one interesting thing, like one of the biggest differences between building like AI products versus not AI products is the evaluation. Like, you know, if I was to build DoorDash, right? The main functionality of DoorDash is like, I need to be able to search for restaurants and then I need to be able to order and like I place the order and it comes to me, right? I can test each of those functionalities deterministically pretty well. But let's take even like Higgsfield, right? How do I evaluate how well a video is automatically? Like, I don't know how you guys do it. Yeah, you see it, right? Like, so that is probably one of the biggest challenges that we're facing, but like a lot of AI companies are facing right now, especially with generative AI, because how do you validate like in an automated way? Like you can't, like you end up having to do like sample it, send it to like maybe a human labeler, rate how well it looks, and then iterate. But imagine like trying to improve your model or trying to see whether a different model is better. Like you can't do that automatically. So I think eval is huge. There's a lot of companies that are working on this right now. And so I think we'll only see these toolings get better. Another thing is just it's expensive, right? Like, I mean, you know, what you guys are doing with actually building a foundation model like is probably way more expensive than what we're doing at Smartly. And so, you know, paying for GPUs is a big one. And then also these models are huge. So actually loading it and being able to do it quickly, like there's always going to be a cost and like latency trade-off. So anyway, there's a lot more and like I can go on and on about it, but these are just some that come to mind.
Excellent, great. And like thinking about, I'm so interested in the development of these products and you know the insights that go into making them and maybe stories and user testing that has shaped them. Can you share anything on that across the two companies?
Yeah, so we take a very consultative approach. We are the AI lab, which means that we really are testing some new use case pretty much every week or every other week. Video out assembly, again, I think that came out of just like we got a ping from one of our customer success managers that a customer wanted something like this. They threw together a sample in an afternoon. We took that out, we kept seeing demand for it, so we eventually built it into a full repeatable product and then figured out that long tail as I hope I hammered in during the presentation. But you know, even from the very early days, we had a customer, actually Foot Locker was one of our very first customers. That case study I showed was the first one we did with them. We've done a bunch more since then. We tend to be very consultative. We'll do the first generation with them almost fully managed, very handheld. After that, we'll train them on how to come up with prompts on their own and how to get results they like. And then if there's pitfalls they run into that can't be solved through great service, we build products around it. So with them, we work to build the style mimicking feature, the composition control feature, recurring generation came as a request from a customer. So we are very, very much in touch with what our customers do. Partially because we work with such large enterprise, I think they expect that level of service, but it's fun. I think we never struggle to have product ideas because it's like we're doing user interviews and consultative work every single day.
I do have to ask, does Foot Locker pay in shoes?
We have not gotten any free shoes from Foot Locker, but I'll see.
That's bull. Okay.
Yeah, one managed generation for a rare shoe.
What about at Higgsfield? Is what kind of processes, human in the loop? What's going on?
Basically, like I do agree. Maybe I'm answering another question. I'm not sure, but I do agree that it takes a lot of humans right now to see if the AI is good or not, and like not only at the result level, but literally we have a small little no, very big, very nice girls, so that you don't think that the wrong thing, that are looking at the data sets and just putting tags on it. So you should know that it's a lot of work for people to create the models that you are seeing, and the results that if they're not to your liking, just wait a couple of moments. I do think that, because I'm more on a consumer side, I do see that a lot of people are interested in simpler things, and like with the development of the AI, we need to take that into consideration. For example, I don't know if you know it, there is a company called Wiggle, and they create videos that are very dances as well. They are very funny, they're very simple. If you Google it on TikTok, you will see the trend that is going right now. And it's for me as an older person, this is stupid. But people do like it. And when you give them, instead, you give them very good dances that look very I don't want to use the word sexy, but they do look better. No, they want something stupid. They want something simple. They want something that is entertaining. And this is also what you have to remember as marketers that are here, that sometimes it's not about the best model. And what we actually, I can talk from my past experience, what we actually saw in Replica is that people never want the smarter model, but people never want the newer model. They want something that they can feel confident with, and sometimes it's something old, it's something simple. Like when AI is not too smart for them, when it's not I create this picture of anything that looks better than you've ever seen. When they're like, oh, I'm a small, simple, stupid AI that creates a picture of an avocado chair, then they like it, and you can keep that in mind.
Can we do Paris Hilton morphing into an avocado chair? Can that happen with Higgsfield? No. That's not in the contract. Okay, guys, I want to open it up. If anybody has a question, I have one more to go, but if anybody wants to ask anything, please don't be shy. Is there anything else on your mind? No? Okay, well, I'll ask it on your behalf then. It's San Francisco. There's always founders in the room. So in terms of differentiating these products, how are you guys thinking about that at your respective companies, Because there's a new tool every day of the week here.
Absolutely. So I think the way Smartly plays in general is the same way that we play in AI. So we are end-to-end across the workflow. We bring all these different platforms that advertisers need to run ads on together, and then we just make that an amazing, seamless, scaled experience with AI sprinkled throughout. So I think for our current customers, it's kind of been a no-brainer to test and work with us because we're literally integrating generation on top of the feeds they're already using to build their ads, and we are learning from the styles of the ads that they run through us and the insights that they get out of the best performing ads to make this really work for them. So I think for us, it's, if we were to try to do exactly this as a startup, it might be harder because we do already have those, years and years of relationships with our customers. They are running, millions of dollars of ad spend through us, and they sort of trust us from that relationship standpoint. So yeah, I think there's a lot of benefits to being directly in the workflow on top of an existing tool with, data from what they've done in the past to power it.
Yeah, absolutely. And to add on, Smartly has, 700 customers. And so we have all of the data of those customers too, whether it's assets or KPIs or whatever. So, building larger workflows is much easier when all of the data is in one place. But I will say that for founders out there, I feel like now what's interesting is you can totally flip an idea or a space on its head because, traditional software, it's you have a certain flow to it, people click and you do things. But I think now, you can kind of redefine it because with generative AI, there's so much more that can be automated. There's different kinds of ways that software can be controlled. So I think that for founders, it's it's so greenfield because you can kind of just disrupt markets altogether. I'll give you an example. There's this company called Adept. It recently got co-acquired / merged-ish with Amazon. It's not actually an acquisition, but they have some partnership. And what Adept does is that they automate supply chain, finance, and healthcare workflows by using agents to do a lot of the communication, so there's not as much back and forth. So that has so much more efficiency, and it's not like a regular SaaS tool where people go and click, right? So I feel like there's paradigms like that make it so interesting to be a founder at like this point in time.
But does it do passive aggressive as per my last email in this back and forth?
Probably.
Where is the fun in
It's
that?
such an easy thing to do these days. Yeah.
Okay. The differentiation in video creation, obviously this is a very painful point because OpenAI, because everybody else, and we look at them presenting it and every time we're like, oh, they got to us. But at the same time, I do believe that still at the point where you're just creating pretty pictures and you don't have a use case for it, this is all worth nothing. And this is the problem with AI in general. As long as you don't find a use case for it, as long as you don't have why do you need to create the picture of the turtle? Why do you need to create the picture of anything else? So what we are looking for is the use case where people can actually use our technology, and I do hope we will find it, and I do hope we will give it to it, because I don't know if you noticed, but not everyone has the AI assistant now, even though the technology is there. So if it's not needed, even if it exists, it's not needed, and we want to create something that is needed, and this will be the differentiation point that I hope that we have.
Great. Any final thoughts? I saw you were...
Yeah, I was just going to go the direction Apoorva was also going, where, where are startups able to stand out against, a really large existing workflow end-to-end solution? I think one is we have spent a lot of time, as I've said so many times, on making a simple use case work for the long tail and really getting that right, bringing it to scale. And partially because we spent so much time on that, even though we've done experiments on what would an agent for marketing look like and these really large workflow changes, we haven't implemented them as fast as maybe a small startup could. So I've seen some startups do well there. The other is higher risk use cases, like something like Creatify does with UGC video avatars. Not all of our customers are totally on board with doing that yet, so it's something we've started to test the waters with. We could totally do a HeyGen integration or something like that, but not something we've touched yet because it's higher risk and we need to move carefully with our position.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate the conversation. Lots of tools to try out, tips and tricks for people getting started. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Just a few quick announcements from me before I let you go. Get networking, get some pizza. So if you want to show some support, we're online. We're across Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Come find us at the AI user group. Tag us, follow, like, and share the event page with your friends. Bring a colleague next time. We'd love to see you all. Our next event for marketers is on August 7th, but equally we also have nights for designers and developers, so if that tickles your fancy, it's something you're interested in exploring, you can find us on July 17th and July 24th as well. Now I will open it up to open mic, so anybody got an announcement to make, maybe there is a job opening that you'd like to advertise, maybe you're a consultant and you'd like to find some new clients, feel free to come up here, make a little announcement. Tell people what you're working on. It can also be a really good way to kickstart networking and have people come to you. So if anybody wants to come up, please. Form a line. Great. Let me do this and it's on for our LinkedIn live stream here.
What's up, guys? I'm Emery. I run Swayware, a data company and marketing platform. We just started an affiliate program for agencies and other fractional CMOs and stuff as well too. So if you're one of those, love to talk to you, get you guys paid. We do stuff like website de-anonymization, lookalike audiences, other tracking, other data-enabled services as well too. So come find me, let's chat.
Thanks so much. I was going to say, if you're super organized like Hannah, she sent me a slide in advance. So here you go, Hannah, I'll give it to you.
Thank you so much for having me. I just wanted to quickly say, hi, I'm Hannah. I work at a startup media company called EO. We feature the most iconic founders on our YouTube. You can find us by typing EO on YouTube and can find out about our events and the content that we make. We're actually hosting an event next week on Thursday about productivity tools in AI era, which has a lot in tied with what we were just talking about today. So a quick story is that I use all of the productivity tools out there, and I'm always thinking about how can I use these tools, but with all the time that I'm saving, am I really achieving something more with all the tools that I'm using. So I think we're going to be talking a lot about the agendas around how can we be really productive using these AI tools. And we have some great speakers coming in from Superhuman, Mixpanel, DoorDash, Gamma, all of the leads coming in and talking about it. And for AI user group people here, you can scan the code, and it's actually 50% off for everybody in the event today. So please check it out, and hope to see you on Thursday. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Fei Fei. I'm a tech startup founder exploring startup ideas using AI to empower influencers. So if you're an influencer or know any way to reach out to influencers, please talk to me. I would really appreciate that. Right now we're mostly thinking about either building AI avatar for influencers or building like a platform to help influencers workflow. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I was going to say, is there anybody else? If not, I will do our own little announcement. So we are running Automators 24. So we're running an automation conference on October 4th in San Francisco at Fort Mason Center. We will have 3 different tracks. So we're going to have speakers across marketing, sales, customer support, and it will really be a place for you to meet either fellow automators if you're already on that journey, or perhaps learn some new tools and tips that you can add to your own workflows. So we have some ticket offers here. You can scan our QR code, so it's $99 for 1 ticket, or if you make a friend here, you might want to go in on 2 tickets for $149. We really hope to see you there. Should be a really good day. Great, well, thank you for attending. Again, if you've had a thought about speaking or would like to hear more, maybe you'd like to do something with the AI user group in future, you can reach out to me at sinead@theaiusergroup.com. Thanks so much, everyone.